Good evening, everybody. I invite you now to take a seat and get comfortable and come on in as we start our fall equinox ceremony. I'm Blair Nelson. I'm Executive Director of Waterspirit, and before we start, I've got a few housekeeping remarks. First, if you have any pocket portable noise-making electronics, now's an excellent time to make sure that they're not going to make noise during the ceremony so that we can be focused and together to welcome in the August season. Hi, folks, come on in. I'm very pleased to be joined tonight by our new program manager, Ann Price, our public policy and justice organizer, Rachel Dawn Davis, and her daughter, Ivy, special guests, our longtime board members, Kate Chambers, and a bunch of Waterspirit friends, old and new. And since we do have new friends in the room as well, I want to make sure that everybody knows who we are and what we're doing. Waterspirit is a nonprofit center for spirituality and ecology sponsored by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. Through programs and advocacy and education, we promote the personal and systemic transformations needed for a flourishing earth with clean, safe water for everybody. We've been around since 1998, and since that time, these seasonal celebrations have been a staple of our programming. They're an invitation to connect with the deeper meaning of the seasons as we cycle through them. And we're usually joined by very special guests, and tonight is no exception. We've got a very special set of performances planned by Arlen Filas over there on the piano. You folks are in for a real treat. Waterspirit is dependent upon donations from like-hearted water protectors like you. So if you like what you see tonight, please consider going onto our website, www.waterspirit.org, to make a donation, or you can also leave something in the donations box outside in the vestibule on the little shelf. And when you head outside after the ceremony tonight, don't forget to look at our little harvest station that's set up by the door. It's full of giveaways and goodies to celebrate the season, so take some tasty treats home. It's also important to note that tonight's proceedings are being live streamed and recorded onto our YouTube channel. So hi to everybody who's watching from a distance. I know there are a number of people who wish they could be here tonight but weren't able to. And please note as well that if you do make it up to this area in the front, you will be appearing on our YouTube channel. You get your star moment. And with that, our final housekeeping note, which is very important before we start the equinox proceedings, it's important to acknowledge whose land we're occupying. So Waterspirit's headquarters are located on the homeland of the Navasinkaleni Lenape, on the peninsula named Navarumsunk. We respectfully acknowledge the Lenape peoples past, present, and future here in Lenapehoking and throughout the diaspora. We offer our care and gratitude for Lenapehoking, as well as our commitment to establish just and right relations with these lands, waters, and people. Now let us anchor into this season. Each year we experience 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices, the tipping points of each season. In autumn and spring, there is a perfect balance between day and night. Another equinox occurs, and we welcome the seasonal shift and the changes it brings. Tonight, we light 2 candles for balance. We honor this time and embrace the warm, sunny days and cool, dark nights being equal. When we tune into the changes in our seasons, autumn needs no clock or calendar. See it, smell it, taste it, and know that autumn is where you find it when it comes. Autumn is the quiet contemplation of spring and summer. Spring was all eagerness and beginnings. Summer was all growth and flowering. Autumn is the achievement summarized, the bright leaf in the woodland, the ripened apple. An excerpt from To Autumn by John Keats. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with the sweet kernel, to set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think that warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells.
This time of equal day and night is marked by the peak of harvest season, which can be interpreted as the physical harvest of food or the energetic harvest of the fruits of your labor. Traditionally, during the fall equinox, people enjoyed the bounty that was grown by the sun of summer. They shared the abundance of food between families, friends, and villages, and reconnected after a long and arduous harvest season. The words that come most readily to mind have their origins in the earth's plenty. Ripe goes back to the early Germanic word for reap, meaning harvest, and harvest is rooted in Greek for fruit and to pluck. Even the word plenty goes back to Old English and French to the venerable Latin for full. So when we think of ripeness and harvest, we are in for the long tradition of the earth's plenty and the season's fullness in every sense. Do you know what foods are in season where you live? Do you know what to harvest right now? Do you know who is harvesting and where your local farmers markets are located? Let us give thanks to the people harvesting crops for the benefit of all. The difficult lives of farmers is matched only by their generosity. Pope Francis offered this prayer of intention, that small farmers receive a just reward for their precious labor. Now allow me to introduce our guest performer for the evening, Arlen Filas. Arlen's going to play a song for us titled Room to Grow.
So as we gather the harvest and we pick our fruit, and as the leaves fall away from the branches, I sometimes feel a sense of loss. But that loss transforms into a feeling of gratitude for what we gathered, and those empty spaces manifest into new dreams and new opportunities and room to grow. There's a vine growing just past my door, and it moves so carefully, steady and slow. When it finds itself cornered with nowhere to go, the sun comes guiding, 'cause there's always room to grow, room to run, spaces to fill under the sun. And if we are left with dreams full of holes, well, there's always room to grow. There's a boy who carries a burdensome load, and he moves so carefully, steady and slow. 1 foot in front of the other he goes, his smile still shining. 'cause there's always room to grow, room to run, spaces to fill under the sun. And if we are left with dreams full of holes, there's always room to grow. Bend towards the light, we'll make our own way. Love each other each night, love each other each day. 'Cause there's always room to grow, room to run, spaces to fill under the sun. And if we are left with dreams full of holes, well, there's always room to grow. Oh, there's always room to grow.
Thank you so much, Arlen. This season encourages us to take time to see and feel and sense the strength and elemental hospitality of the natural world around us. We find meaning in it when we look, when we stand in the open and see bold horizons of faith, stubborn hills of strength, horizon-wide spans of enduring purpose. We are never, never faced with anything we cannot overcome or thrive from. The earth is a constant reminder of this. When we tune in to the seasons and fluctuations, we see that we are no different from the trees and the bees. This simple realization is incredibly powerful. And it is during times like the solstice and the equinox, when the energies of the earth are palpable, that we are easily able to tap into our essence. The fall equinox is the perfect time to find gratitude and put your manifesting powers to work, setting intentions for what you seek to manifest this season and affirming your intentions out loud is a powerful way to set manifestation into motion. We invite you now to take a moment and think about what you are grateful for and what your intentions are for this new season. When you are ready, please turn to your neighbor and share 3 things that you are grateful for or that you hope to harvest now. Thank you all so much for sharing.
The autumnal equinox, the balance of night and day, a balance of light and dark. It may be hard to strike a balance between your personal life and your professional life, your daily obligations, relationships, and everything else we experience as humans. But that is why it can be so beneficial to tune into the rhythm of nature. Take a moment now to reflect. Is my life in balance? If not, what areas of my life could I cultivate balance? What do I need to feel balanced? So now let's take a moment to practice balance together. To begin, you can remain in your seats, and I want you to try this little experiment. We're giving you, our brand new Waterspirit pens. That's right, fresh from the store. Made from recycled plastic too, just so you know. Now, taking your beautiful new pen, take a moment, ooh and ah first. You need to ooh and ah. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very accommodating, I appreciate it. Ooh, ah. Okay, get all your clickies out there, young man. Good. Now, taking your pen, the idea is, can you find the center of balance? Just on your finger. Hold it steady. Can you balance it on your finger? The center mass. You thought it was going to be easier, didn't you? Yeah, it's not so easy. When you get really good, you can show off like Noah's doing, lifting it up and down. There you go, impressive. So we have a center of balance. If you're comfortable, you can come forward. We're going to try another experiment. You can come up, stand forward, come forward. You're going to join us for an experiment. You don't need to bring your pen. Leave that at your seat. You'll need it later. Now that he's got it, he wants to bring it. It's like his toy. She's bringing her pen with her. So now we're going to use our bodies to find a center of balance. So, finding your center of balance, spread your feet apart, shoulder width apart. Put your hands to your sides in a mountain pose. Sorry. Hands out. Take a deep breath in and out. Relax. And bring your hands to center. Good. Feel your weight. Feel the floor beneath your feet. And center your weight toward one foot. Can you shift your weight to one foot and lift the other to your knee, or higher if you're comfortable? It's easier if you pick a focal point across the room. So now, raise your hands high, reaching like a tree, reaching toward the sun, and stay centered in that balance. Excellent. Bring your hands back to center and take another good deep breath. And out. You're centered, you're focused, you're balanced. Let's try to make all of our life balanced. You can return to your seat. Where to put my glasses? Do you see them? Well, here I go trying to read this poem without my glasses. Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, Blair. A prayer for balance. adapted from Patty Wigington. A balance of night and day, a balance of light and dark. Tonight I seek balance in my life. It is found in the universe, a candle for darkness and pain and things I can eliminate from my life. A candle for light and for joy and all the abundance I wish to bring forth. At this time of the equinox, there is harmony and balance in the universe, and so there shall be in my life. We now invite Arlen Filas to perform Everly Honor, a song about saying goodbye to the roses of spring and summer until next year and hoping for their return.
Everly hides from the autumn cold and falls away with her leaves of gold. The season's touch proves to be too much. Everly, please honor me again. Everly hides from the season's grip as drops of dew fall from her sweet lips. What I wouldn't do for one last kiss. Everly, please honor me again. Someone catch a rainbow, paint a perfect rose. By any other name, her love still grows. Everly hides from the winter cold, far beneath her icy snow. When she returns, no one could know. Everly, please honor me. Everly, please honor me. Everly, please honor me again. Thank you.
Thank you, Arlen. And building off of that song, by this time in September, the treasure chest of autumn begins to spill over. You see it everywhere, glistening in the sunrise, flashing in the dew-wet morning, glowing in the quiet afternoon, aflame in the sunset. Woodland, roadside, and dooryard will soon be gemmed and jeweled with miraculous colors that will vanish just as soon as they arrived. nature begins to prepare for winter. Leaves that once colored the woodlands will now blanket the soil. Now comes autumn and rest. In autumn, the trees are saying goodbye to their green, letting go of what has been. May we, too, let go when we need to do so. There is a time for everything. There is a time for staying and a time for moving, a time for persisting and a time for surrendering, a time for living and a time for dying. We need courage to enter into the transformation process. The fall equinox invites us to honor the abundance in our lives and, like the falling leaves, to shed the layers of what no longer serves us. Let us display our gentle power of letting go of the things that no longer serve us. I ask you to reflect on these questions. What no longer serves you? What are you holding on to that has lasted beyond its rightful season? Take a moment to reflect. I will now invite everyone to take one of the paper leaves that will be passed around. And now's the moment where you'll need your pens again. Okay. Now on your leaves, I invite you to write down what you want to let go of this season. And then once you are ready, please bring them up to our altar to leave them in our compost bin, in our little box. Thank you, everyone. We will return our leaves to the earth to nourish her. Only when we let things go can new life grow.
We'd now like to share Song for Autumn by Mary Oliver. Don't you imagine the leaves dream now? How comfortable it will be to touch the earth instead of the nothingness of the air and the endless freshets of wind? And don't you think the trees, especially those with mossy hollows, are beginning to look for the birds that will come, 6, a dozen, to sleep inside their bodies? And don't you hear the goldenrod whispering goodbye, the everlasting being crowned with the first tuffets of snow? The pond stiffens, and the white field over which the fox runs so quickly brings out its long blue shadows. The wind wags its many tails, and in the evening the piled firewood shifts a little, longing to be on its way. We are really grateful for one more performance by Arlen Filas called Angels Among Us.
There are angels among us in the darkness to guide our way home. There are angels among us trying to tell you you're never alone. It's a hard road, it takes hope to hold your head high when the gray clouds just won't pass you by. And the spirit, she's awaiting to share all her light, and if you let her, she's gonna hold you tonight. There are angels among us in the darkness to guide our way home. There are angels among us trying to tell you you're never alone. There's a great storm on the horizon. You ready for this fight? It's the heartbeat on this old street that drives. And in the side seat with that backbeat that keeps you feeling alive, she's gonna rock you to the new morning light. There are angels among us in the darkness to guide our way home. There are angels among us trying to tell you you're never alone. Help me now, help me now, help me find my way back again. Hold me now, till your love replaces the pain. I've been holding on, been holding out for your love to show me the way I'm feeling. Love, I'm needing you now. There are angels among us in the darkness to guide our way home. There are angels among us trying to tell you you're never alone. There are angels among us in the darkness to guide our way home. There are angels among us trying to tell you you're never alone. Thank you.
I get chills every time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think there are angels among us in this room today, too. Together, tonight, we have celebrated the harvest within and without. We have called balance into our lives. We have let go of what no longer serves us. We have given thanks for the abundance of Mother Earth and for the warmth of each other's hearts. Oh, misty days and harvest moon nights, may we always feel the presence of mystery and wonder in our lives. Thank you, everyone, for celebrating the fall equinox with Waterspirit. I wish you a bountiful season, full of grace and harmony. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be loved, and may you be at peace. Happy equinox. Good night, everyone.